just a tad. Yeah, you should do it like super quiet.
Welcome to Watch and Complain, episode 189. This is like a book club for movies and television.
If they made those on television.
Where
Some movies are based on books.
where you can go and watch the item we're talking about and then come back and see what we're talking about. Today on the show, it's John Wick.
Woo! Here's our guest, John Wick. Say hello, John Wick. Yeah. Every time he went, yeah, I always hear little bits of Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted. Every time he did it. Ever since he started all these movies.
Yeah or whoa?
Yeah. When they would go like, whoa. But no, when he goes, yeah. I always hear fucking Ted.
So, we went to John Wick separately. How was your theater experience? Anything special?
It was great. So it was a really busy theater, and for me, the best part of it was that when all the trailers came on, the Fast 14 or 41 or whatever Fast we were on comes on, and as soon as it was over, I'm sitting in the audience, and me, being obnoxious, I went, fuck that, just like that, and I could hear a guy visibly down in front of me be like, oh, like I could hear him like just aghast that I would dislike the Fast and Furious movies. So that was funny. That made me laugh.
I didn't get to see most of the trailers because we were a little late. There was these days there's like 15 minutes of trailers.
Yeah. And also, you can see all the trailers like on YouTube, so why bother?
Probably already have.
Did you guys go to IMAX?
No.
Yeah, see, we went to IMAX. IMAX, it looked good.
Because recliners.
So as soon as we got there, I went with my wife. You went with your wife. As soon as we get there, we sit down. My wife's like, these aren't reclining chairs. I'm like, no, that's only in the regular theater. She's like, we're going to be sitting for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and they're not reclining chairs. And I was like, yes, dear. Aren't you glad you came with me now? And I'll talk about
with us.
the only comment my wife had for the whole movie. I'll bring that up when the time comes for it. It was funny.
I didn't look up the John Wick thing.
So while Phil is looking up John Wikipedia, get it? I will say that I really enjoyed this movie. I think I've enjoyed all of the movies in this franchise for similar but different reasons why I think, and it gave me cause for pause. And what I mean by that is I'm watching John Wick, and the fun part of John Wick is that you don't take any of this seriously. The fact that it's all over the top, you're just enjoying yourself. You're along for the ride, and you're enjoying it. You know what I mean? Stylistically, it's beautiful, and the story is who cares. But this movie has style to fucking beat the band, right? And it's funny. I'm sitting there and I'm wondering. I say to Karen, I go, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like these, or maybe it was you that said it. I can't remember. Somebody said it.
I wasn't there.
I was like, maybe I'm wrong about these shitty Fast and Furious movies.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe like there's something I'm just not getting. Karen's like, no. I'm pretty sure it's Karen. She goes, no, it's because you're not a car guy and you're not a douchebag. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why you don't like the Fast and Furious, because they're all like, let's have a Corona, blah blah. Because you're not one of those guys.
This is Rise Wars.
Everyone likes John Wick. Everybody likes the character of John Wick. He's just a cool guy, right? But only douchebags like Vin Tortellini and unfortunately he had Race to the Bottom, Paul Walker, all the other ones.
Sounds
in that
sexual.
movie. Well, he raced to the bottom of the road.
Yeah, they did that jump into the boat.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. But
you were talking about the long stare from car to car.
But yeah, so and she was like, no, it makes like she understood my cause for thinking like maybe I should give those Fast and Furious movies another try. And she's like, no, don't. She goes, because you're not a douchebag. That's why you don't like them. And it's not that everyone who likes them is douchebags, because clearly there's not enough douchebags to give those movies to get up to like 10. But they're stupid, they're mindless, they're garbage. That's why people like them, right? They're stupid, they're mindless, they're pulp, they're junk, right?
Why do you think Trump has a fan base?
But the point is, like, and I was like, maybe I could watch and appreciate them on that level. And she was like, no, you can't get past the douchebaggery. She goes, the people that enjoy them and enjoy watching those movies and have fun with them, they can get past the fact that these guys are all humongous douchebags. She goes, you can't. She goes, that's just your personality. You can't get past how much of a douchebag every one of these characters is. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. And she's known me for a long time. So I was like, I think you're right.
Easy coast on the type of fan base.
But also they can, like, people can watch, people who are just like Fast and Furious because it's stupid fun, they can see past how annoying a character Vin Diesel is and how annoying all of these characters are. I can't. That's the thing I can't get past, you know? But with John Wick, like, you know, my wife's comments that we'll go over later on, I can get past that. I can get past, or even your wife brought up the point, like, that's not how fucking headshots work.
She sounded like you.
Yeah. I'm like, I can get past that because I'm having so much fun with the movie. But now that you've got the Wikipedia entry open, and you know what? We can say Wikipedia because I donate $3 every month to Wikipedia.
And that's what he does it for.
Yep.
So he can, like, crap all over it. Anyway, my theater experience was fine. Nothing special.
How is it that I go into great detail and you do not?
Because I didn't have any trouble. You caused trouble.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You have to remember all the times that you either say things out loud without caring what people think, or the times that you laugh at the wrong things.
Oh, man, I was laughing at some parts of this movie when no one else was.
People taking it seriously, and you're like, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, I spiked the mic.
But it's also super fun when you and I go to the movies and you don't want me to laugh or you don't want me to say shit, and I'll say shit out loud mostly to embarrass the person that I'm with.
Mostly making fun of other patrons that come in, yeah.
Come on, it's fun. We all do it. It's fun.
Not out loud.
You can do it, I think, even if it's out loud, but it's got to be in jest and it can't be mean-spirited. If you're a comedian and you're a good comedian, you can say shit that's mean-spirited, but
to an extent.
If like it's mean-spirited and it's just mean, like, look at that fat guy. Like, that's just mean. You know, but like with the blanket thing, that was funny. And so you can say jokes like that are funny.
Unless that person is easily embarrassed and then you've just ruined their night because they can't use their blanket anymore.
If they were if he was planning to get jacked off under the blanket, you shouldn't be doing that in a movie theater.
True, but now he's worried that people will think that he is when he's using it.
That's good. And if that wasn't in his brain, he'd be like, fucking dick, and putting the blanket on.
They sell blankets there.
Probably because people want to get jacked off.
That's true.
If you're looking at in those, I think it's John Wick 1 and 2, I think he's topless. But I know for sure, and that's where you see his back tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Not in those.
There are some people that are getting jacked off under blankets, looking at that nice body that Keanu Reeves has. So that's where that's where you got to call people out with the blanket. Can't be getting jacked off in a blanket when other people are in the theater.
Well, if my ex got Randy during the Carla Homolka movie.
Yikes. That's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that was terrible
the
one with Laura
thing.
Prepon?
Yeah.
That was awful.
It was awful, and it was also like, why now? It was weird.
Maybe she wanted to kill you.
Yeah, it was probably one of those things where it's like we're looking for a boring movie to spirit away into.
Okay.
But
I will say that this week I watched a movie that was really high. I believe it's a Korean movie. Really high on everyone's to-watch list. So I'm like, oh, check it out. I got about an hour into it, and I was like, no, this movie ain't for me. And I turned it off. And that was one thing I realized is you can not like a movie that everyone else likes. Like, that everyone's like, this is the best movie you'll ever see in your whole life. And I think it was
you just
so
like a lot of movies.
But it was like, you know, it's okay to not like a movie that everyone is like, oh my God, Decision to Leave is going to blow your mind. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know, Decision to Leave is not for me. I wasn't enjoying it. I appreciated the kind of artistic merit that the movie had, but it wasn't for me. So I tried to watch Decision to Leave, but couldn't get into it.
Welcome to John Wick.
Let's get Wickening.
No, let's start at the beginning.
The Wickening. Mine was better than yours.
I should have just gone with it. In New York City, John Wick prepares to exact his revenge against the High Table while hiding underground with the Bowery King.
The Bowery King.
That's what he's called.
I thought it was just called Mr. King. I've always just called him Mr. King.
Sometimes you get a little bit more description in these than it shows in the movie.
Is Jason Mantzoukas, his character wasn't back. TikTok, Mr. Wick. I like when he would do that in number 3. Or number 2, one of them.
He travels to Morocco and kills the elder, the one who sits above the table.
Ooh.
In response, the Marquis Vincent de Guermont, a senior member of the High Table, summons New York Continental Hotel manager Winston and his concierge Sharon.
So, as I'm watching this, I'm realizing I don't hate the Skarsgårds, but I hate that they show up everywhere. They're like cockroaches. They're in everything. Yeah. You know, they're fine actors. I will say that, especially Stellan Skarsgård, who I heard in another podcast, someone refer to him as Stellar Skateboard, and it made me laugh. So now I want to refer to him all the time as Stellar
who's
Skateboard.
The Skarsgård?
Bill Skarsgård, the French dude. That's Bill Skarsgård.
The Marquis?
Yeah, the young dude with the creepy eyeballs.
I like him. He was in a war movie that we watched, or that I watched.
Maybe. I haven't.
One of the recent
But he was like Pennywise in that absolutely execrable fucking It remake. Those movies suck. And just... they're not bad actors. They're perfectly adequate actors. The father being the best one, but they're everywhere. They always show up, and that's what annoys me about them. But
he was in the Divergent series.
Oh wow, great! I
didn't watch it,
but yeah, they're fine.
Eternals.
Huh?
He was in Eternals.
Wow. But yeah, I get sick of seeing them. I think that's what it is for me. Mariam?
Barbarian.
Oh, that's right. He was the guy in the hotel, or not the hotel, in the house. Remember?
Our favorite.
Will you talk more about the Wickening?
I'm trying, but okay, there we go. De Gramont advises Winston
You can barely read fucking English, and now you're going to try to say a French name?
De Gramont advises Winston that the entire High Table has given him unlimited resources to find and kill John Wick.
Wow.
He chastises Winston.
Also, isn't it the same thing that happened in all the other movies?
I pause for you to say something, and then you let me go, and then you say something. Fuck. What was that?
Isn't this the same thing that happens in every movie? Somehow someone pays, and I like how the value just keeps on increasing throughout all the movies. At this one to the end, I think it was like 48 million or 40 or 48 million to kill John Wick.
I thought it was 35.
No, it went to 40. Because remember when Mr. Nobody is on the phone at the very end of the movie, and he goes, just went up to 38. And he goes, that was a part of the deal. Click, and he hangs up on him. And he goes, it's just gone up to 40. And he's like, fine. And then they send out the thing to the girls that work out of the Eiffel Tower for some reason.
Because that's a good place to hide.
But you know what? That's stupid. And if this was Fast and Furious...
There's a lot of stupid in this movie. Yeah. It's video game logic.
But I'd be watching it going, this is fucking stupid. But because I'm enjoying myself, I don't point that shit out the way I would with Fast and Furious.
You just did.
You just did.
He chastises Winston for his failure to assassinate John.
It was sad, too, to see Lance Reddick. That was a bummer. You know, just hearing that he died the week before, and then you see him get shot.
Or it's nice to see him.
It is, but then when you see him get shot, I was like, oh, I wanted Lance Reddick to win.
But they did not devote. Devote's not the word.
Bury. I think it's
they buried him in the movie.
They buried him in the movie, so he's part of the film. He's ground up.
That would be pretty cool. It's a good way to do it.
Come back as a ghost.
As punishment, De Gramont strips Winston of his duties as manager, declares him excommunicado.
Now, did you ever watch Arrested Development?
No.
So in Arrested Development, I believe it's the first season. It's like the second or third show. Michael Bluth, who's Jason Bateman's character, wants to give his son, George Michael Bluth, played by Michael Cena, more...
John Cena?
Yep, exactly. That's why you never see him in the show. He wants to give him more of a role at the banana stand. So he says, tell you what, George Michael, I'm going to give you a promotion. You are now Mr. Manager. He says, "Wow, I'm Mr. Manager." It's manager. It's just manager. Well, you just call me Mr. Yeah, but okay, but we'll just leave it, as manager. He goes, "Oh, so I don't know. Should I hire somebody? That's up to you, Mr. Manager." And he keeps on calling George Michael Mr. Manager every fucking time someone called Winston Mr. Manager, because that's his name. All I could hear was fucking Michael Bluth going Mr. Manager to George Michael, and it would make me giggle at times when you're not supposed to be giggling in this movie. Damn it.
So every time.
You know what you should do? You should keep on watching me for every time that I'm going to drink and then read.
Has the Continental destroyed and executes Charon.
Charon. Bonjour.
De Gramont then travels to Paris and enlists Cain, a blind, retired, high-table assassin and old friend of John's, to kill him.
Played by
Eddie Wu.
Racist.
John Woo.
Jesus Christ.
Michael Caine.
Played by Michael Caine. Here's fucking Alfred, the old 80-year-old butler trying to take down John Wick. Oh, you only
Donnie Wen?
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen, that's it.
Donnie Wen. I'm sure there is a Donnie Wen somewhere, so what's up, Donnie Wen? You got a shout out.
Hey, you're going to get
Donnie Yen,
$1 more next movie.
I felt bad for Donnie Yen because he played Cheered Imwe, the blind monk in Rogue One, and then he's playing another fucking blind guy. I'm like, poor Donnie Yen. All he ever does is It Man or fucking blind people.
No, you'd think it'd be easier for him because he's already played the role. So therefore, happy him.
That's a good point.
De Gramont then I said that. Retired high-table assassin and old friend of John's to
You
kill
already
him.
said that too.
Threatening to murder Cain's daughter otherwise.
There was Cain and there was Cain's.
All of them. John takes refuge at the okay, so Cain's daughter is a pop star, from what I understand.
Oh, really? In real life, eh? No,
Yeah.
Cain's daughter or
in real life, not in the
no.
movie.
I think the guy that played the Japanese
not Michael Caine's daughter. But
No, the guy that runs the Japanese hotel. The girl that plays his daughter is a pop star in real life.
You know what? You're right.
I am fucking right.
You're right. I got them. I
keep on getting that actor. I forget.
I got the two Asian daughters mixed up.
Sanada. That's what it is. Hiroyuki Sanada. Hiroyuki Sanada. I always get his name wrong.
John takes refuge at the Osaka Continental, run by his friend Shimizu Koji.
Played by
De Gramont.
Now that's a hard one. That's not gonna be a Donnie Yen for you.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Over here. Do you know who else he played that you enjoyed? I believe he played
Hiroyuki Sanada.
I believe he played Scorpion.
I did
Kombat.
not enjoy the movie, but I did enjoy him as anything.
I enjoyed Mortal Kombat.
You know what else he was in?
John Wick 4.
A TV show called I don't know.
Just the 10 of us.
It was something sci-fi.
No, he's a great actor. He's always one of those guys that shows up as like an older samurai type of guy. Oh, one thing we got to talk about in this movie that I really liked was the references to other movies was
so
great.
many.
You could tell
Memorific.
that these guys had definitely my favorite thing. These guys had definitely listened to a lot of Ennio Morricone music, which was awesome because you could hear it in the back, and like in the audio, you could hear the Ennio Morricone influence. Plus, you could tell at one scene when Hiroyuki Sanada and Donnie Yen are sitting there with their swords. That is an exact fucking scene of Seven Samurai.
Yeah.
And I remember when it came up, I was like, "Oh, that's the scene of Seven Samurai when they go to get the last samurai and they're waiting before they fight." It was great. I love seeing all those. There were, I want to say, way too many references to the Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
But I get why. But I really
specifically the subway scene,
subway, yeah.
which was like almost one for one. Like the start of that subway scene was just that moment, that shot in.
And you could hear everybody in our audience was kind of like.
I guess it was the first Matrix, wasn't it?
Everybody, no, that's in the third Matrix movie.
Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But everyone was like, like nudging each other, but not like, oh, it's a Matrix.
Well, you got to have the obvious ones, and then
But
you
it
got to
was-
have the not so obvious.
Again, I like the audience of movies like this more than I like the Fast and Furious audience, because this is the audience that's just there to have fun, not there to go, bro.
Well, it's like
Bro.
the non-video game people would not realize a lot of the video game tropes that are in this movie, specifically the top-down isometric.
Play video games nonstop, and I saw all of the references to video games.
Like Super Mario.
The top-down one was Qbert,
Nope.
and I believe there was one that was
Hate you.
Banjo-Kazooie. No one's going to be able to hear that, but that's that awful cat. That awful cat. So my house has a dog, which is my princess, and she's perfect in every way, and 2 terrible cats. I hate these cats. I can't say hate because my family hears that and thinks it's real. I don't like the cats very much.
Cat? Did they think it was fake the whole time?
Yeah. They figure it's just you on a recorder meowing in the corner. But the one cat likes to take a big poop and then meow like that, so the other cat will come look at it.
Why are you pointing at me when you said big poop?
Because you look like someone that would do the same. But that's what the cat does. I don't know why they do it or why that cat does it. It poops, and then it's like, everybody come look at my poop. It's a stupid cat.
You don't do that at home?
I do it.
You don't
the
run out of the
fish. That's
bathroom
why I
to
keep the
each,
fish tank in
each
there
one of
with
your
me.
family members.
But guys, check it out.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I feel like when you're a pet, you need things to get excited about. So they just, everything.
You know what I wish my cats would get excited about? Your car tires. Makes you think.
Speaking of which, Akira, Koji's daughter,
I don't think her name's Akira. That's what I thought I heard first, but then Donnie Yen later on is talking to him, and he says, he calls her like Keen or something.
I'm pretty sure it's Akira.
I think it's wrong.
Maybe he says Kira for short. Because
Oh,
you
maybe. Maybe.
Because you got to take one letter off.
You're staring at a cat right now.
You know when a black cat
You know
walks
what's
across
really
your shit?
amazing?
Yeah.
Is what makes for good video and audio is when you stare at a cat that's off screen that other people can't see.
Well, that's when I
And
edit
then I'm
in the
watching
cat.
you. I'm watching you watching the cat.
That's when I put me off screen. So then you're watching, you're complaining about
You should edit a little cat like walking in front of us.
Akira, Koji's daughter, and the hotel concierge orders the hotel
What do you call it? Concierge?
concierge or concierge.
Do you know you're saying that wrong, or do you just not? Do you want me to correct you?
How do you say it?
Concierge.
Yeah, but you say it improperly. Try rolling your R. Concierge.
We're going to talk about that in a second.
Order.
An R that got rolled, and my audience was silent, and I started giggling like a fucking lunatic.
Orders the hotel evacuated and joins her father, John. Joins her father, John, and the hotel staff in fighting off the High Table's assassins, leading to Akira being wounded.
That was this was like the first big fight scene of the movie, I think.
Well, aside from the horse scene,
What horse scene?
the start of the movie where it's a horse chase.
Oh,
But it doesn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
have a fight scene
Yeah,
to it.
this was like the first big fight scene, and as soon as it started up, I was like, I'm having fun. I forgot too that his suit is made of Kevlar. So I was like, I don't think his suit is going to block that bullet. And then, oh yeah, it's made of Kevlar.
So we were previously discussing how like that's a like what is that? Like
what is Kevlar?
no, is the reason why they went with this new Wick trope, not new because they did it in the previous movies. This Wick trope, it is because they wanted to be able to shoot people a bunch and have them survive and keep going.
What Wick trope?
The
He always
Kevlar
shoots
suit.
people. He had the Kevlar suit in the first fucking movie.
So it's a Wick trope because you don't see it in any other.
You see it in other.
How often
No,
do you see
no,
someone
no,
go,
you see
"Oh,
it-
with their
You
suit
see it more
coat jacket"?
often. You see it more often.
It's
Holy
stupid.
moly.
Who's gonna do that?
Crazy person yelling at people.
Well, I'm you.
I've seen it in other movies and shows, but it's more like it's constant in John Wick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like think of Batman.
This the whole time. Instead of having a shield, their shield is their jacket.
Yeah.
They're just like
I was
walking
fine
around
with
like
it.
this.
I'm fine with it.
It's a little much.
You know what's a little much? A fucking stupid Dodge Charger that gets hit by 2 fucking airplanes that he's like, and he says fucking something that's nobody can understand him. And then for some reason he goes flying up, and then the screen cuts to a reaction shot, and then his car is coming back down, magically floating back to the fucking ground, and then the 2 helicopters smash together. That Fast fucking 5, 10, 15 movie, whatever it is, looks garbage. I fucking don't want to see this movie.
Fast 10? Oh. Your seatbelt?
I fucking hate those movies, man.
But it's okay to hate a movie.
It is, but you know what fucking sucks?
Like
going to a theater to see it
movie.
with a bunch of fucking douchebags that are going to be saying, hey, we're going to get coronas after this, bro.
Well,
hey, bro.
Put it this way. You could ruin it for them.
You better believe I will. That's why we're going to go to it together.
My wife won't allow
Me and
that.
you and your wife. I'm going to embarrass the shit out of both of you.
Oh, great. In his escape, John fights off another wave of assassins, followed by another wave of assassins, followed by, it's totally a video game movie.
Yeah.
Followed by Kane. They are interrupted by a tracker named
Nobody.
Tracker, a term for a bounty hunter.
Oh, right.
Who calls himself Mr.
Nobody. I legit thought, as soon as we saw Mr. Nobody, I thought Mr. Nobody, and I think I told you this the other day when you came over, was King's son.
Also, who did Mr. Nobody play previously?
Oh, yeah, I recognized him.
My wife and I had a field game. A field game? Is that
Field
how
gate. Yep, you had a field gate.
Field game.
A field
game.
Yep, field game. That's the term. Yeah, that's the exact term.
What's the term?
Remember when you would be outside in school when everybody was playing track and
A field goal?
Yes, you and your wife had a field goal trying to figure out what role this guy had played before.
Oh, wait, that's touchdown.
That's right. You and your wife had a touchdown trying to figure out what role this guy had played before.
Anyway.
But yeah, I believe the term you're looking for is a field day. Trying to figure out what this guy was.
But
yeah,
is that a thing? A field day?
Yes.
What is that?
It was a fucking day when you would spend in school where everybody was outside doing track and fields. A field day. You guys never did that?
I'm sure we did that, but we never called it that.
Oh, we called it. Yeah. Track
Now I know where it comes from.
We called it track and field day.
Okay, well, that's different than a field day.
I might be wrong. That's where I always thought it came
Blowing
from.
it up, but yeah.
Stop fucking spiking your microphone.
Gotta speak over you sometime.
But yeah, where is he from? I could not fucking figure out where this guy was from.
So I thought certain things, but one of them is
Pornography.
pornography. It was a long time ago when he was.
When he was Mr. Somebody.
I was going to say when he was 5. That's just. I'm not.
Jesus
going,
Christ.
I'm not.
At least my disgusting comments are at least legal.
Stowaway.
What the hell is Stowaway?
Okay, it was the movie where
Oh, that's helpful.
the space shuttle was going up to do whatever, right? But someone snuck in and stowed away with them, and they had to figure out how they were going to go about their mission because their mission was only set for a certain amount of people.
I don't remember that.
So they wouldn't have enough.
I thought you were talking about that movie where the girl woke up from hyperspace and she was all alone.
That was Oxygen.
Okay, well, that's what I remember.
think.
Really? That's the only other fucking thing he's been in?
He was also in one of our favorites, Awake. If you remember.
Nope.
It's the movie where they had to stay awake or else they would die. And he was the guy who died at the end, spoilers, in the garage for no apparent reason whatsoever. That's just where he died. No part of the story. Just
When you say,
we got to kill him somehow.
When you say they need to stay awake, I think of the Freddy Krueger movie.
I realize over time that when we watch a really crappy, forgettable movie, it is really forgettable to you.
Yep. I don't remember watching Awake. Did we do an episode on it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure we
go
did.
back and listen to it.
I thought, and it might be one of those movies where I was just like, you should watch it. And you're like, no. Just a lot of movies. I thought Tenet.
Oh, I enjoyed Tenet.
Turns out I'm racist. So.
Tenet. Oh, shit. Is he the guy in Tenet?
No.
Oh, fuck. So say I don't think he is, but I was like, holy fuck, maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
And there was another movie that I thought he was in. Nope. So, yeah.
Oh shit! So I'm watching this history of the sitcom show. It's a CNN show, and
Did it have black people in it?
one of the sitcoms they're talking about. So they're talking about like the fish out of water.
We've gone 30 minutes already.
Kind of weird, goofy guy, or weird, goofy person. That's
Kramer.
Your the Kramer, the bulky Bartolomeusz, the Steve Urkel, the person that is the goofy one, and that goofy guy can be goofy. I can be goofy. Like, you know what I mean? That's your Mork from Mork and Mindy. That's your avenue into the show. And they reminded me of the show. Every now and then it comes in to my brain and then disappears again, and I've got to find a place to watch it. Remember fucking Third Rock from the Sun with John Lithgow and all those guys? That show was fucking hilarious. And there's
Basically, everyone was the goofy one except for the kid.
yeah, effectively, right? The one guy, French Stewart, I believe his name. He was a bit too much for me.
He was supposed to be.
But John Lithgow, he fucking nailed it. But what I did like was the one
great show.
Yeah, the one show they're showing is a girl comes in. And she's a secretary of the office. She's a black lady, and she's got, I believe it's called a Baku or Badu. I can't remember. It's like a traditional African
Are you
headdress.
thinking of Erica Badu?
No, the thing she's wearing, I'm sure it's called a Baku or a Badu. I'm sure of it because she says it in the show. And he goes, "What's on your head?" She goes, "It's a headdress that's traditional of my ancestors." He goes, "Oh, so all secretaries wore those?" And she goes, "No, black people." And he's like, "Black?" And she's like, "You didn't notice that I'm black?" "Yes, of course I did." He looks over at Jane
Foster.
Foster. No, you asshole. I can't remember her name. I know it's first name. It might be Jane Curtin. No, that's a Stevie. It doesn't matter. Looks over at her and says,
The tall one.
And you are who became his girlfriend on the show, the other teacher that worked in the office. Never mind. He looks over her.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And he says, "And you are." She goes, "You can't get any whiter than me." He goes, "So you're black, and you're white." And they're like, "That's right." And he looks at the black girl and goes, "You all look the same to me anyway." And they're all like, like that. And he's like, "What? I'm talking about human beings." He goes, skin color. He's like, oh, he's like, how tacky. He goes, "I only see you as people." But the way that John Lithgow delivered it was so perfect. And I forgot where I was going with this, but the point is, Third Rock from the Sun was a good goddamn show. Jane
That's one of those ones
Curtin. I'm certain it's Jane Curtin.
that I should go back to appreciate more.
I do remember the blonde on that show. She's the one like the I can't remember what her name is. I want to say Kristen Stewart, but I know that's not it.
The tall lead.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's more of like a blonde redhead.
but she's also she's
What do you call
very
it? Dirty blonde?
she's good looking, but not
Auburn.
traditionally good looking.
Yeah.
Like she's not like model good looking.
No,
but
wasn't she a supermodel though?
She might have been, but she didn't have the.
But she
to
played
me,
it as a
yeah.
as
She didn't
a
have the look of a
tomboy.
model. Yeah,
That's because she was the male alien that got turned into
Oh,
a
to
female, and
that's
she had
right.
to play that.
But she was very funny, and I remember the whole show being so goddamn funny.
Welcome to our Wick from the Sun. No,
Third Wicks from the Sun.
that would have worked better. That would have wicked better.
Third Rocks from the Wick.
He lets John go after deciding the contract money to be insufficient.
So now this part, what happens is they go to Graham Cracker or the Skarsgård, and the Skarsgård says, Mr. Nobody says, "Mr. Nobody, I want you to get John Wick," and they stabs him in the hand, and he rips his hand open and whatnot with a knife. But
We're not there yet.
I don't care. But then he says, Graham Cracker says, "I will turn everything into a graveyard," and he fucking rolls that R so severely. He rolls no other R's in the movie except when he goes, "I will turn it into a graveyard," and I was like, I started laughing.
just
I'm
turned
like, what
Scottish.
the fuck was that? It was so stupid, and I'm fucking like, like just go, and I go to carriage service, graveyard, like that to her, and everyone around us like, I think that guy might be an idiot, but it comes out of nowhere.
You're right.
He does it for no reason. He just goes, "I will turn this place into a graveyard." It was stupid.
It probably was one of those things where the director was like, "No, you got to roll that arm
Really
more,"
emphasized
and then he's
it.
just like, "Fuck."
Yeah, like there's so many scenes in this movie where we're like, fuck it, let's just have fun, and it felt like that's exactly what the actor did.
Akira also escapes, but Kane kills Koji.
Kane kills Cookie. That's right.
Koji.
You know what? If he owned his own company, it would be called Koji Co.
That's great. All our American people out there, or anyone not in Ontario, can try to figure that one out.
Yep, makes you think.
John returns to New York
some
and meets
Googling.
with a vengeful Winston at Sharon's gravesite.
Mr. Manager.
Winston what was Sharon's tombstone or plot? What did it say?
Friend.
Thank you. Winston suggests that John. Do you think they?
I saw a guy at the gym
Do you think that
the other day that had a tattoo on the inside of his arm
says Sharon?
that said to come T-U come C-U-M, and I know it means something in Latin.
Oh, something cum laude.
No, but it wasn't. No, magna cum laude. That's with great honor. But no, it was to come a hedre or something, or no, like fasuter. Or something. I don't know what it was, but I only had a second to look at it really quickly. I legit thought that this guy had tattooed to his arm "come on face." That's what I thought it was, and I had to look over a second again, and I didn't know what it said, but I know I saw F-A-C. It was something like F-A-C-E-T-T-E. Like it was something.
Like product directions.
But it looked like cum face. And I was like, dude, that's
It's wrong.
I'm sure it means something and it's great and it means something to him, which is awesome. And you can get whatever you tattoo. I don't give a shit what you get tattooed to you. But I was like, dude, that guy's tattoo said cum face. And I had to look back. No, it didn't say that. But it said something. Exciting. Also, how the hell does John Wick not have that section of his arm destroyed?
It's a video game. Do you think that this shot was reshot real quickly for the movie?
Which shot?
It's his standing at his tombstone area, not tombstone, but whatever they call it.
No, I don't think it was a reshoot. I think it was important because of the conversation that John has at the end about what he wants on his tombstone.
Yeah.
So no, I think it was there.
Winston suggests that John challenge De Grammont to a duel, as winning will free him of his obligation to the high table. Per table's traditions, John can only request a duel on behalf of the crime family, as he previously severed his ties to the Ruska Roma.
This part was boring. Like
John travels to the. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, we have to get the exposition in, and we have to then show the exposition.
The more you say that it's video game, like, yeah, it's what it really felt like. Like you've got to have. Okay, we can't give these people a fucking game that story mode is done in like 2 hours. So we've got to fucking bloat this story up. And I love the death that comes with this part when they kill the fat man.
Okay,
but
John travels to their headquarters in Berlin to rejoin the syndicate. His adoptive sister.
Apparently he's
I'm embracing my African American brothers.
They would be African Belarusian brothers.
Sure, everyone is my brother.
Oh, they're not. I'm not.
My brother is watching this podcast and he goes, oh.
I'm a better brother than Rob is.
John can only request a duel on behalf of the crime family. As he previously severed ties with the Ruska Roma, John travels to their headquarters in Berlin to rejoin the syndicate. His adoptive sister, Katia, agrees to bring John back in exchange for him
Sister soldier.
killing Killa.
She was a rapper.
Killa, not Killa. A German high table senior who murdered her Farfurter.
Yeah, her furter.
Herfurter.
So that part where what's his name? Killa?
Killa.
Killa was fun because he was a dude in a fat suit, and I was like, okay, I'm having fun with this. But the whole John's got to go back, and then he's getting hanged, and they're stretching him out, and then he's got to go back, and they got to burn the fuck. I'm like, oh my god, just this is boring. And it's not that it's boring in that like, like I wasn't.
We have a cool scene coming up, but we can't just go straight to
exactly,
it.
Exactly right.
We
and
have
I
to
was just like, come on,
explain
guys, get past this. Let's get going. That's one of the parts of the movie that I want to run at like 1.5 speed.
Two cool scenes. Because you've got the magic card, not magic card, the magic card. They're playing Magic the Gathering.
How many Pokemons do you have?
And
your Squirtle is not. What happens to Squirtle?
the classic deck building trope.
What does Squirtle get? Squirtle gets
Water gun,
No, what does Squirtle?
bubble.
What do they call upgrade?
Oh, turns into tortoise.
No, they call it. What do they call it?
War
when they do it?
turtle.
They
Evolution.
Evolution. They evolve. There's a word I'm looking for. What does Squirtle evolve into?
I just
Water
said
Soar?
War turtle, and then Blastoise.
War Turtle and
It's
Blastoise.
War turtle.
How the fuck can you say those words, but you can't fucking say some of the words that are on
Lots
here?
of Pokemon. I swear. It's 151 in
Did you
my
know?
Pokemon.
Yesterday was the last episode of Pokemon broadcast in Japan to have Ash Ketchum in it.
It was
He's been
actually not yesterday. It was actually like a week ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. But he's been in 1,200 shows, and that was
late
his
last
last show.
week. Yeah.
I guess he had caught them all.
And now there's a new Netflix show coming.
Nice.
Anyway. John infiltrates Keela's nightclub, but Keela, already informed of the hit on him by Kane, sets up an ambush via a rigged poker match. John escapes and kills Keela, taking one of his golden teeth as a trophy. See, they just completely went by everything.
This fight scene with all the water and the lights, I was like, dude, this fucking movie oozes style. This looks
It was
so
beautiful,
good.
yeah.
And so he's fighting and punching, and I was like, punch. But then he throws Killa over the side, and Killa falls down and lands on his fucking head, and he goes like, like that. Our whole audience was like, ooh, like that. And I am laughing like a mad person. I am fucking hysterically laughing. And I'm like, how come nobody else is laughing with this? This is so much goddamn fun.
Don't forget, previous to this, Keela comes back to life twice? Like at least once. And then also the extras. This was
There's a fucking axe fight.
This was totally a video game where you have Hitman, where you have to walk through the crowd of people dancing and you have to try to kill people, and they just happen to not realize or don't care at all.
The only Hitman game that I've ever played, and I remember it because I was like, I successfully did this first assassination, and I was like, I can't play this game if this is all it is I had to drive up to a guy's house, and they're like, don't go into his property, park outside, then jump the fence and walk through the bushes. So I jump the fence and I crouch and go through the bushes, and they're like, now go find him inside of his house. So you break in through
Is this
a window.
the one with the birthday party on the outside?
I have no idea.
Okay,
years ago. All I know is it was years ago. It was after it came back, really, the graphics had really, really been improved.
I think that's yeah.
It might be. And you have to go in and you have to find this guy in his house, and then you have to choose which gun you're shooting with. So I don't fucking care what gun it was. I shoot him and I shoot him in the head and he's dead. All right, now you have to dispose of the body. Take the body outside, put it in where they keep their trash, outside, go back to your car. I'm like, holy fuck this. This is so boring. I like my games to be fast and shoot them up and shit. I couldn't take that.
The interesting thing is I actually like that. I like so I play it incorrectly. You are supposed to plan it, yes, but you're supposed to do it as fast as you can to get a better time and everything. But I play it. You could not sit there and watch me play because one level, I just have fun and go for 4 hours at a time. And
I would go berserk.
People would just yell at me and be like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'll go and I'll sit in a bush or something and I'll watch the AI players go around and watch their every action and see how I can kill this person without anyone noticing at all.
God.
And at the end, once you complete the level, you realize, oh, I didn't have to do all that. They wouldn't have noticed me. They're
Jesus Christ. You're a mad person.
I like that's how I play the new, not the newest Assassin's Creed games, but the ones where you can be methodical and you could like hide somewhere and
I
just
think
wait for
didn't
people
that
to
all
go
start
by.
with like the Splinter Cell games and shit like that.
Yeah, it's very what's the word?
John Wickish.
Yeah, John Wickish. John escapes and kills Keela, taking one of his golden teeth.
Teats.
Teats.
Yep, one of his golden teats.
Well, that's what I want to say. As a trophy, and regains his status in the Ruska Roman. John then formally challenges Duguermu through some French person is going to have a heyday with me. Through Winston, who also requests the New York Continental rebuilt with him reinstated as manager.
Mr.
Should John
Manager.
win? It doesn't say that.
Mr. Manager.
In Paris, John and Duguermu, it's getting worse each time, decide the parameters of their duel in a meeting moderated by the Harbinger,
Yeah, Clancy Brown.
table's emissary. I kept wondering, like, isn't this guy like the person who is like the?
Like the messenger?
No, I was thinking like his second in command. Gurugama.
Oh, yeah.
Second in command.
Right.
But then like each time, like by the end, you realize like it took me that long to realize that this guy is just like a separate thing for the high table.
He runs the table.
Yeah.
That whole part where they're flipping over the fucking Beskar things to, it's basically war. I was like, oh my God, come on, skip through this. This is boring.
Duguermu nominates a reluctant Kane to fight in his place. What does he offer him?
His and his daughter's freedom.
The duel is to take place with dueling pistols on the following sunrise at Sacré-Cœur, one of my wife's favorite places that she's visited.
Wow.
The Harbinger informs John that both he and Winston will be executed.
Did you know that as a man, once you die, that starts settling in? Sacre-Cœur.
If you laugh harder at your own jokes, it doesn't mean it's funnier.
Sacre-Cœur.
Well, and it's more funny because you're an idiot. That's the Harbinger informs John that both he and Winston will be executed should he fail to appear on time. The Bowery King arrives in Paris to give John a weapon and a new ballistic suit. This is where we get that Matrix scene.
Yep.
For those wondering who haven't seen the Matrix.
It's right here.
Oh, shit. Okay. Guess I can do that.
Just put up the word Matrix.
Yeah.
Just like put it in text pad.
I'll just write it.
or get that. Remember that show Reboot? Reboot up there. That's the Matrix.
Yeah, with the cube. I love that show. That was awesome.
It was. There was apparently a reboot of Reboot.
Yep. But it was shit.
Oh.
Duguermu attempts to prevent John from arriving at the duel by placing a 26 million bounty on him. John fights off hordes of assassins on his way to Sacré-Cœur.
Sacre-Cœur.
Including Mr. Nobody, who negotiates.
Oh, dude. So I think it's this part, and if it wasn't, I don't care. But these guys that are hunting John down put in these like these shotgun shells that must be like dipped in fucking titanium.
That was the cutting of the tops.
Yeah, but they dipped them. I thought they dipped them, or there was something that was already in them.
I think when you cut it like that, it causes them to
They're gonna
disperse.
explode. Whatever.
Upon
But
release.
what was awesome is when they would hit someone, it was just a fucking ball of fucking flame, and they
like-
played that to its max. I had a ball when
Sparks
when he was
fly.
watching them, and like fucking fire and shit would be all around. I thought it was great.
It definitely made for the top down scene to be so beautiful, and I have to say it's one of my favorite scenes ever.
Yeah, that top 10, it was wonderful.
What?
Especially in this series, it was fucking great.
I didn't want it to end.
Yeah, it was. Karen started getting seasick from it.
I bet that will be like, I know it's not a new trope because it's from video games, but I would love to see it more often in movies. And I would like to challenge any director or whatever out there to, and I know you're listening, to make
Martin
a whole
Scorsese
movie,
listens to our show.
a whole movie in this style.
They will, but it'll be 10 minutes long.
It'll probably suck.
But I loved, and I was, again, giggling the whole time. The guys getting hit by cars when they're going around the Trump Fillon or whatever the fuck that thing is called. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Paris people, because I don't know one from Paris will ever watch this. It's Gate Triomphe or something.
Triumph.
Yeah.
Yeah, Triumph, the insult comic dog. The one insult comic dog.
What are you talking
Conan
about?
O'Brien.
I know who Conan O'Brien is.
Triumph.
What's that got to do with the fucking Arc de Triomphe? And Sacre-Rigueur. But the guys that are, when they were popping the cars and they get hit by another car, that shit made me laugh.
Every time I bet.
Every time I saw someone get punk and smacked around, I was like,
Okay, so on that note, there were some moments of CG that were god awful.
yeah.
Like the falling. Like when he when
Oh, yeah.
Neo fell.
Neo.
But when he fell, or when the big guy fell on his head, it's just the problem was it's not that it's not funny, not impactful, but it's that it was the wrong speed.
You know why I think they did that? To make it look, and this is just my opinion, I might be totally fucking wrong, to make it look super fake. Because again, and I brought this up to you when you guys came to pick up your kid, because we watched their child while they went to the show.
And he survived.
So that you can take, like, hopefully not our kid's age, but so you can take your 10-year. So I can take my oldest son, who's 14. I can take him to it, and it's not gory. It's like, oh, that's obviously CG fake.
Yeah, I wish they would have leaned into it more.
So do I, but I think that's the reason why. And I might be totally wrong. It might have just been shit CG.
It could be also the China paradox.
I don't think the China paradox, and that's one thing I brought up to you and your wife when we were talking about it.
I don't know if it's called that. But.
I think Chinese audiences don't shy away from gore. Their movies are hardcore gore.
Yeah, but there's so many
even their
things
action
that
movies
they
are
do
hardcore
go
gore.
against. Like if there's anything with
Ghosts.
devils
Yep,
or
yep.
like I'm just like, ugh.
But there's nothing like that in this, and I don't think the gore would have been a problem here. But I think it was because they know that a lot of younger audiences are going to see this. They wanted to keep the violence as tame as they could. That's why whenever
while still having an R rating.
That's why whenever there was, I think they tried practical effects as much as they could. That's why you saw a lot of, and you come to expect it from the movie, and you enjoy it regardless. A lot of, an army of 10 guys jumps on John Wick, but then they're all kind of waiting and going one at a time, two at a time, which is
The
fine.
Star Wars way,
Yeah.
the Matrix way.
When he would like hit someone or hold someone, he'd be like, and then he like you could see that it was all choreographed, which again was awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of like, you would do moves that really wouldn't make sense in a fight. Like,
But hey, I was enjoying it. I was having
still
a ball,
fun,
man.
Yeah, you're right on the money, or one of them are right on the money.
Yeah, one.
God is
God's right on the money.
in terms of where it totally is a fight movie, like leaning into the fight movie crowd. In terms of or the gunfight movie crowd,
Yeah.
and it's just
I think that was your wife that said that, not one of mine.
no, because you were just saying that in terms of Vin Diesel and
Yeah.
the car
Yep.
groupie.
Yeah, I think her point was this is more of a kind of like Blade and like superheroes who never get hurt, and you're like, how come they never get hurt? Who cares? You're just having a ball while you're watching it. That's what it leads into, but that's where for Fast and Furious, it has that, but it's the douchebag guy part. That's what overshadows it too much that I can't enjoy that part of it.
You just have to let go. Go to an Adam Sandler movie and let go. I would say go to an Adam Sandler movie, but they're all on Netflix.
Thank Christ. And Bombing, which is good.
Including Mr. Nobody, who negotiates the bounty with Dugremu up to $40 million, but stops hunting John after he saves the tracker's dog from being killed by. This was a good.
I love that every John Wick movie has had. You can tell that these guys are dog lovers. Everybody involved is like, well, we got to put in a dog getting saved. How are we going to put it in? Doesn't matter.
It's a callback. It's always the callback to the first one.
When the dog got killed.
When his wife got killed.
No, his wife is already dead when the movie starts. Then the puppy gets killed. And for John Wick, the puppy is an extension of his wife.
I was just making his wife's a dog joke.
Well, you were Sick.
It's just horrible.
Oh, shit. Hold on.
'cause
Sac
women-
rigor.
Kane aids John in fighting his way up the stairs, leading to the sacre. No, that's not what I was.
Also, was I the only one that, like,
I hated
walks
the
ar-
roll down the stairs.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
I would have loved it for maybe half the stairs.
there were
but
so
the
many
whole
people-
thing. It was a joke.
There were
Obviously.
so many people in the audience like, oh, and I'm giggling shit. It's a fucking joke. But they're all like, oh, how's he gonna get back up those
but
stairs?
it was totally one of
Have
those.
you watched the rest of the movie, you fucking
Exactly.
idiot?
It was totally one of those things where it's like, let's lean into the jokey, gamey part of the movie, which is fine. Like, it's great. We know what we are.
I had a ball.
But
I thought it was
But
great.
I thought it was a little too much.
But why is it that Donnie Yen walks with a cane? His name is Kane. I'm like, come on, man. It's a little too on the nose. It's like if his name was like Eyes. Like, come on, man.
John and Kane. I don't know. John.
Also, I did like that there's the Spanish guy who's DeGram Cracker's second in command. And he says to Donnie Yen, he goes, "You can't kill me." And Donnie Yen's like, beats the shit. He goes, "Yeah, but I can hit you, motherfucker." I like that. I love seeing Donnie Yen go, "Motherfucker,"
I just like to see Donnie Yen.
naked.
Donnie went. John and Kane narrowly reached the summit.
Oh, listen.
I was just waiting for it. Turn it off.
Why don't you fucking
One
read
day I'm
with
gonna
some
throw
background
your
music?
new phone.
Not my iPhone 14 Pro Max. Sponsored by.
Ribbed for her pleasure.
That's why I have the vibrate on.
Yeah. John and Kane narrowly reach the summit in time for the duel. Each inflicts serious wounds on each other through 3 rounds of dueling, with the 3rd round ending with John being mortally wounded but not firing his gun.
This was Ian McShane's greatest delivery. He looks over at Stellar Skateboard.
Who says, I'm taking over now.
Yep.
I want to shoot John with the final round.
Yep. And Stellar Skateboard goes up, puts a gun in, and it cuts to Ian McShane. He goes, "You arrogant asshole. He didn't fire." And then John says, "I don't know, something, and I'll kill you." And then he shoots him, fucking blows his head off. I was like, awesome. But what was great was it wasn't supposed to be any big surprise scene. If you watched the scene, not even closely, if you were just paying attention, you saw that fucking John didn't shoot. You only heard one
I didn't
gunshot go
notice.
off.
I kept
You only heard one
looking and
shot
I'm
go
like,
off.
where is his wound? Where's the what's going on?
Well, they because they're constantly like it's a far back shot where they show them fire, and they make sure that you see the muzzle flash and the smoke from both guns.
Didn't notice.
And then you don't see it on John's. You're like,
slow.
he didn't fucking, and that's why Ian McShane said, "You arrogant asshole." You know, I loved it.
The Harbinger grants Kane and John their freedom from the high table and reinstates Winston's position. John reflects over his marriage and life before peacefully succumbing to the injuries. Sometime later.
Over the rainbow.
Sometime later, Winston and the Bowery King bid farewell to John, having buried him next to his late wife,
Aw.
Helen.
And his tombstone says, "I wicked it good." Wicked. Wicked good.
I was wicked.
I was wicked.
Or just, whoa.
Yeah. Are you buried here, John Wick? Yeah.
I like how at the end where people would think that, oh, he won. He's going to go get help from a hospital, whatever. But he goes,
Yeah, he has to die.
make sure you take me home.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? Okay, he's going to take him on the plane with him.
Because they're in Gay Paris. He
Yeah.
didn't want to go back. Or he didn't want to be buried in Gay Paris. Near de Grumble.
In a post-credit scene, Kane returns to Paris to reunite with his daughter, but is approached by a vengeful Akira,
Holy moly.
which sets up that anime movie, Akira.
Wow. Yeah, who cares? But I enjoyed the movie. I had a ball, man. I
great.
loved it. I had so much fun watching it. And, I'm having so much fun watching it. And I know that with my family in 2 weeks all together, it's going to be exciting when we all go see the Super Mario movie. I know I'm going to have a ball. Everybody
You're forgetting a movie.
is talking about how good Dungeons and Dragons is.
Not forgetting a movie.
And I got it.
I'm glad that
the
it's getting
more
good-
hype. Yeah, I'm hearing about it. I'm like, dude, I'm starting to get psyched for this.
You won't believe me when I tell you it looks like it could be good.
Yeah. Well, no, I believe you.
Yeah.
You like Fast and Furious movies.
I didn't say I like them.
What the fuck would I buy
said
your opinion for?
I can enjoy them for what they are.
And see, there's the difference. So you can enjoy them and see past the douchebag part.
Yeah.
I can't see past that douchebag part.
Because I can see the critical flaws in these movies.
All I can see is
but
the
I can
critical
still
flaws.
enjoy them.
Well, you're going to have to edit this down to be less than 1 hour, Philip.
That won't be hard. Just all of your stories that you tell, you're just gone.
Cut all those out.
I had to do that in the last episode.
Also, Phil, and then you continue. Also, Phil, continue.
I make myself somehow look eloquent, and you just end up going,
You know what you should do? You should leave my stories in, but just have like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
and just zoom in on my face going,
And cricket noises when it's over on you, and then back to me. Wah, 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 wah.
yes, Miss Mamana.
Well, I enjoyed this. Did you enjoy this?
A rating out of 10.
I give this out of 10. All right, let's be serious.
For that one scene alone is 10.
Which one?
The top-down one.
Yeah.
Like that scene was. You have to see this movie just for that, and it was longer than you would expect it to be.
You know what, though? It's funny. My wife... and I forgot to say what she said. So when John is getting smacked around by all the cars, she's like, really? She's like, not one broken bone? And I turned around, I'm like, Karen, have you watched these fucking movies before?
You've gotten to this point in the movie, and
you're
this
like,
is, yeah.
a broken bone?
He just went down the stairs 26 times. Like,
but yeah, I if I had to give it a serious rating out of 10, I would say it is not my favorite John Wick movie. My favorite John Wick movie is number 2, man. Number 2 has some awesome stuff in it. But
I can't remember anything.
I give it like a good, I'm going to say 8 out of 10.
That's what I was gonna say.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, 8. 8. 8 works. That one scene, 10. The Matrix stuff, awesome. Everything that is not CG. And it's not like it's like obvious CG dinosaurs or something where it's like,
that's obviously not real.
Like,
yeah, they blend
or
it.
ghosts.
They blend it well, except for when they don't. the digital blood splatter did not work at all.
My
or
wife
the digital
hated that.
misting.
Yeah. But that reminded me of Game of Thrones when they do it too much.
Game of Thrones or Walking Dead? I think you're thinking about Walking
No,
Dead.
Game of Thrones.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite part of Game of Thrones was...
the new Game of Thrones.
Oh, the House of Dragon.
Yeah.
I liked in original Game of Thrones how physical a lot of the effects were. Like when Pedro Pascal gets his head ripped apart. It was
Anything
great.
practical in this movie was amazing.
Yeah, looked
well
really
done.
good.
The stunts that were all practical were amazing. Any stunts that were CG, I don't know what they like. They just cut corners on the CG because they thought people wouldn't care because they were just quick things. But like
They were quickies.
everything CG seemed off. I know there was one CG thing that I can't remember what it was that I was like, oh, that was pretty well done.
I drank an entire cup of coffee during this conversation.
Just me talking about the practicality of CG.
Yep. Just fucking chugging it.
So, the Hunter would love a spinoff.
Who is the hunter?
Is it the Hunter? The dude that we thought was in multiple things that isn't.
Oh, Mr. Nobody.
No, the Hunter.
Who the fuck is the hunter?
The guy with the dog.
That's Mr. fucking Nobody.
Sure.
Why the fuck are you calling him the hunter? He's
But
Mr. Nobody.
His name is the Hunter in it.
His name is Mr. fucking Nobody.
Yes, but he's also the Hunter.
I don't give a fuck if he's called the hunter. His name in the fucking movie.
Tracker. I'm sorry.
Oh my fuck. Mr. fucking Nobody.
Should put that on
Mr.
on TikTok.
First name fucking, last name Nobody. Mr. fucking Nobody.
He's a great actor, by the way.
But
So
anyway.
he wants his own spinoff.
Good.
And then there's a Continental spinoff that's already in the works. There's TV that goes back in time.
Yep.
And then there was something else. Oh, yeah, Akira would need one.
Yep.
And then obviously John Wick 5.
Starring Donnie Yen.
No, starring John Wick.
John Wick is dead.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Guaranteed he's not dead.
He's dead.
He's so not dead. He's gonna be stuck in his casket, and he's gonna come out, and he's gonna have to kill
He's
certain
going to be
people.
like Kill Bill,
Yeah.
where she's fucking
Exactly.
punching to get out.
We're sorry.
That you've been watching Watch and Complain. But you can watch us on our YouTube and on our Tumblr and on our TikTok and on our Grindr and on our Instagram and on our Facebook and on our website. So, wick us up. And then the music fades.